Hi, I'm Charlie Springer, and I'd like to share some poems with you that I call magically real and really magical about American life. They're from my first collection called Juice, released in October 2019 from Regal House Publishing. You can learn more about me and Juice on my website at www.charlesspringer.com. I'd like to begin with a poem entitled Day the Moon Was Out All Day. Sunday, and a beautiful day for a drive, so I drive to Montana, and while there I pick up a buffalo. Always wanted one in my backyard, to keep the grass in the short side and stave off strays. I help him into the back seat of my Impala. He fits snugly, I might add, and as we are cutting through southern South Dakota, I hear sobbing. I ask if he needs me to stop so he can get out and get air. But he says it's too late. He no longer roams. Not since the massacres. Besides, he goes on, he never felt happier than right now, right here in my back seat. And his tears are joy tears. And when we get home, can I live in your car till I die, he asks. And then will you bury me in it when I'm gone? I tell him, sure, why not? You bet, it's a deal. And just as he asks me to shake on it, he grabs hold of the wheel and runs into a tree. Not to worry, it was hardly the last on the planet. Next poem is called Hooky. I asked Titus, an alien from CX-48 in the constellation Cassiopeia, why he doesn't want to meet the gang down at the bowling alley. He says they'll take one look and want to knock some pins down with his head. He's right. So let's go fishing. We wade Paduga Creek halfway, where Titus reaches down among the rocks and picks up trout, 3 per hand. Trout, he says 6 times before he lets them go. I like to get some pictures first, and he agrees, but when I look at them, he's barely there. Only trout that look like they're roosting in the aspens. I forgot Titus really doesn't capture well, if at all, and my pics look like I ran them all through Photoshop. I ask Titus why he's always stretching his arms up in the air, and he tells me that he's reaching for his long-lost playmate back on CX-48. I ask him if he'd like to stand up on my shoulders. He does. Titus starts to cry. His tears come out all purple and silky like Johnson's baby oil. Then he disappears, but only for a moment, and then he's back. I ask if he's forgotten something, and he tells me he was told it's not his time, but I know he misses the trout. This poem is called Birder. My ophthalmologist points to where I put my chin, and once it's there, he swivels in with his Viewmaster apparatus. See any geese, Doc? Was that a starling smashed into my lens? I think a swallow mudded up my lower lid. No way a nuthatch upside down there on my retina. Doc, your light's so bright, just like the sun I told you I stared into when I went looking for the cedar waxwing that ate out on my palm, pooped in my hair until I donned a hat. Cat got your tongue, Doc? Doc, have you heard a peep? How about I call my otolaryngologist to check for wax? Look up your nose for down your throat for beaks, scaly feet. Here, take this just in case, the number of my primary ornithologist. Building a better mouse. Frida lays frays of red blouse thread on her forearm. They look like scratches raised up off her skin. She either breathes on them furtively or waves her hand over them dismissingly, and they skitter, get lost on the red rug. Frida feels for them, circles her lined palm on the pile, and returns with a loose ball. Ganglion, she calls it when held up to the patient white of incandescence. This is the start of a heart. For a body, Frida recovers a pink jelly bean, clothed in the fate of a dust bunny under her recliner. Pinches, twists, make limbs, features. Slight bulge in her apron pocket begets a soul. Somewhere in Frida's needle is a hole. The Two Armstrongs. Boy deep down inside the man has Keds on, springing as a pogo stick. Divides his day-to-day among his pockets. Maps, collapsible telescope, Mars bars, compass. On his belt, canteen full of life force, Kool-Aid or Tang. Boy's been rattling the man's thorax. Man just calls it gas, something he ate. Words come, sound like module, lunar. Doctor comes, pulls a beanie, bent propeller from the man's esophagus. Boy launches like a Saturn V rocket, lands in a silver on the inside cape. When he lifts his arms, 1,000 parakeets fall out. Doctor falls down. Man puts down his instruments. Throws his keys into nearby weeds and woods. Donates explorer, discoverer biographies. Stops the mail. Boy shows him how to walk all over again. Leave prints that make good pictures. How not to pick up dust, jar rocks. Eventually they plant a flag, place hands upon hearts. Never before stripes wide as these. Never again stars this close. Last wishes. I want to walk above the East River before I die. On the Brooklyn Bridge, of course. I know I'll die before I see Architeuthis alive. Her tell its razor beak could take my head off like a lollipop. Meanwhile, I promise not to get too close to rims of any ruins. I'll try to take just one stare at a time. Will you take my hand for all of my last wishes? I won't beg, although my time is just around the corner, like the bistro famous for Last Suppers. When you see me on the other side, my hair will be slicked back, but I won't have on my snake boots. Look for me among submersibles. Look for me among the birds and planes. Thank you.